And I want to, it's fair to, and I really need to focus on me right now. I have no other years left in which I can live. This is it. So I'm going to live now. How's that? Okay, we're shooting in 4K again. Today I'd like to talk about the first kind of major update on house construction in Thailand for us retirees. I am 5 weeks into the process, and as you'll see from all the photos and some video and all that, we got the pun set, which is the floor, and they poured, I didn't measure, I'm going to say roughly 4-inch slab on top of the 2.5 inches of precast, pre-stressed steel reinforced concrete. Obviously strong enough, that's how they do it here. It's a known system, so I'm not doing any engineering. I'm just a feather in the wind. There'll be some really cool video I'll put in after this. It's going to kind of walk you through some of the specifics of the room sizes and such. What I'll try to do right here is just kind of walk you through the process and village politics and such. So easy to tell who appreciates Fawn and her family and who feels a competitive mindset to them. Because some people have stopped talking to me. Let me check. Nope, not bothered. That's really a nice value of retiring in a foreign culture is none of this stuff is your problem. As Dr. Phil would say, I don't have a dog in that fight. None of it just doesn't. It comes on my radar only that I'm aware of its existence, and it's of some tawdry entertainment value to me. And that literally is where it stops. I would like to see someone on that other team, whatever you want to call, however you want to say it, attempt to hurt my feelings. I'm unable to imagine a scenario in which they could. Hang on. There's a rather large red ant on my microphone. How the hell did he get there? Always good to observe your surroundings in Thailand. There are insects here that are not able to kill you, but can give you 3 weeks of intense agonizing pain, some of the worst on the planet. True. The giant centipede here is probably the animal I would be the most fearful of encountering. Although, honestly, the snakes are more dangerous. And this makes me think that I would like to do a future video on evaluating a Thai family, your future, fiancé, girlfriend's, future wife's family, because that would be a really great skill to have here, and I could share what I've learned so far, which is a few things. But they have been phenomenal. Fawn's mom and dad have worked harder than I would have by 100% more, doubling the effort that I would have made to save cost and manage costs. Not that I'm reckless with my money, because I am not. I'm careful with my money. But they're managing every 10, 20, 30 baht unit price of every piece of concrete, steel. I mean, very literally. They're gnashing their teeth over every little bit. They keep a book. They volunteered on their own. If you run around imposing your will on everybody, all you get is a bunch of people obeying you. And if you're strong enough and you're in a strong enough position financially, typically is how that works in America and how that also works here, interestingly enough, then you can enforce that. But all you get is a bunch of people obeying you. You don't really know what's in their heart and what they want to do. Which sometimes, if you step back and just observe, this has just been the best lesson for me, I'll tell you. This is something I haven't done as much before. And probably could have learned this one sooner. But stepping back and just watching, and they volunteered on their own to have a sumut, which is a soft cover. It's not a turtle, it's a book. A soft cover book, a notebook. And they did a sumut with all the line items in there. Now, in Thai, but I can fumble through and read it. And every cost, every inch. And then I track it separately in a note application in my phone with just in lump sums that I give her mom. And I generally do them in 40,000 baht chunks because I can pull 40 to 50,000 out of the ATM 2 times per day, which is the limit, and it's unraisable at Bangkok Bank, I checked, which is fine. It's working out actually well, and I'm just going along with that. Then I keep a little bit of that out of if I get 50, then I keep 10 for myself for spending money for 2 weeks, so half a month. That's about right, and all that. There's a two-pronged approach to managing the cost. I'll know how much I gave her parents because I track every 40 and 50,000 or 30,000 baht chunk that I've given them, and the two times I've paid for something specific, I have it down to the individual baht, so I can tally exactly what my costs are. And then her parents are tallying it on the other end, and they're jibing. They're jibing exactly, and the prices I'm getting are really good. So I'm hoping we'll come on at budget. We're doing block next. Today they poured the concrete, and then block goes up next. So probably in 2 weeks, I'll bet you 2 weeks we'll be knee deep in block. Probably not done, but knee deep, and I'll definitely do an update then because that'll be more interesting to you. So what else can I tell you? It's been frustrating at times. I mentioned already once I think they wanted to pour the footings. There's 27 pits dug, and loom, I think. I might be off on the tone. I haven't really mastered that one yet. But loom is no, not loom is pit, and there's 27 pits dug for the foundations of my house, and I think 7 of the pits had roughly a foot of soft, truly swampy, peaty, boggy. You could step on it and would ripple across it. And they wanted to pour concrete on that, and I just said absolutely no. And I told Fawn, you pour concrete on that, you're on your own. I'll give you the money that I promised to give you, and you can enjoy your house. And if there's any one fucking problem, I'm off. I'm buying a condo in the city, and I'll see you on the weekends. And I meant it. Maybe that's an overreaction, but I was thoroughly pissed at that. And because she was like, it's okay. I'm like, ain't okay. You can do what you want, but that one's not going to fly. And they corrected it. And I gave her like 3 or 4 scenarios. I think I've said this already. And then she picked a good one. And they basically took 2 fence posts, which are concrete, and generally weatherproof concrete, and sunk them at the bottom of each pit, and set those and poured those in concrete caissons. And then didn't link, but bearing on top of that are these insanely thick concrete foundations. I want to say they were 1/3 of a meter thick, over a foot, 14 inches thick, solid concrete. It's insane, but whatever. And then the rest of the house is, above that, the house is built in a sensical fashion, actually. In hindsight, what I would tell you to do is just, they have boring machines here. I would just bore cylinders down, just bore round holes with an auger, and concrete and steel in those. And the steel can be light because it's just bearing. So it's light steel you're basically making a caisson, but all you're doing is just boring down to where you get dirt that's hard, dirt that's light colored. This isn't rocket science. It's a house. If you're building a 20-story building, yeah, you got to do a little bit more than that. But if you're building a 1 to 2-story structure and down, piece of cake. Drill until the ground feels hard to you and it looks like a light color. You're done. And then I would build the house elevated up. I would just, because you end up building a suspended structure. I'm building and I'm paying for, and labor's cheap, it's fine, but I'm paying for a suspended, bearing, spanning structure, bearing on dirt, and the dirt's not counting for anything. So the house is coupled to the soil for cooling effect, which I do appreciate, and I'll get some solace out of that. There's all Earth around the entire planet is 56 degrees Fahrenheit, all times around the year, all months. You can look it up, that's true. If you dig down a tiny bit, it isn't very far. And you're coupled to the soil will create natural cooling. Thailand's hot. Although, look at the weather today again. Now, I could put a jacket over this. And lovely. The breeze is cold, actually, today. Anyway, so since you're paying for a spanning structure anyways, I'm going to say paying in air quotes because it's cheap, I would just put the house up 1 meter, 1.2 or something above the surface of the level of the dirt. And then that way you got no fiddling with dirt, no paying, no fiddling around. You're on these caissons and you're done, you're golden. I would just do that. You're giving up the coupling effect, but you're also getting a breeze effect by being up, and you might as well do it. In hindsight, I probably would have done that. But this is fine. I'm happy with this. And this does allow me to park my motorcycle in my living room, which, let me check, That's important to me. I always wanted to be one of those guys that parked as like, I'm a bit of a 911 guy, parked his 911 in the living room or something. Or I was a Subaru guy. I still, in my heart, am a high performance Subaru guy. And I still look at whatever the new WRX is, and I'm still crying inside that they don't have an STI in production for now 2 or 3 years in a row now. Although the last one did blow its engine in an engine test, stock vehicle unmodified. Subarus are famous for blowing their engines. Why do I love these things? What's wrong with me? So I got very upset a couple times, but people are revealing who they are, and I'm getting the benefit and massive tailwind of that. And Fawn has been doing a fair bit of extra work, and I really don't feel bad about that. It's not a massive amount of work. It's just a little extra headache. And she basically, cooeys, has conversations with her parents. I liaise with her. I give a directive. Look, this has got to be this way. And it's rare. It's rare. I micromanage the drawings. I made the drawings. The drawings were my hand-drawn pieces. Everything we went off of down to the 10th of a meter. And I'm serious. And then I handed those over to an engineer. He did them up to however they culturally got to do it to get accepted and approved to whatever they need. That's on them. Again, I got a cultural price from him of 22,000 baht, which was insanely cheap. You should be paying 70, 80,000 baht for that, okay? And you can see I paid nowhere near that. I offered to pay him more because I felt bad, and he wouldn't. He refused to take my money. So that was good, right? And now I've kind of stepped back, and I give the occasional, this is acceptable, this is fine, that, and you'll see in the other videos I'm going to link into here or attach into this video. And then Fawn makes a decision with her mom and dad, but I've set boundaries now, and they're making decisions within those boundaries, and it's working for me. I'm basically focusing on chest day, arm day, today's leg day. I love leg day. So I'm doing that, and I found fenders for my new motorcycle. I'm so happy. The fenders were stressing me out. It was really kind of bothering me, and I can't believe what a relief it is to found freaking. The fenders are everything, guys. It's you got to have. I'm a paint guy. I need painted body work on my motorcycle. I thought I was a naked bike guy, but when it came down to what's in my heart, I got to have painted body work. Isn't that weird? What you find out about yourself when it comes down to it? Isn't that odd? And I'm going to do a video one day and just all the things I've changed. Like I used to like this, now I like that. I used to, it's crazy. Now that all the stresses and pressures are off me, and I've been allowed to calm, de-stress, and just quiet down and everything. I used to lift angry. I was a big weightlifting, lift angry, and there's a theory to that, and that's actually a thing. You can look it up. And a lot of my friends were lift angry guys, although some weren't. The bigger, higher performing guys weren't. That's interesting to think about that for the first time. Anyways, I now I just lift by focus, which I think is better. Certainly, I'm getting less injury. All the things that change, but peace. It's peace. So, house has come along. I'm going to say it's 30% done. It's probably about right. Maybe 25, 30% done. They'd probably tell me it'll be done in another 6 weeks if I asked. I'm going to tell you 8 to 10. Don't care. I'm on a fixed price contract with them for 420,000 baht, I think it is. And the materials, I personally estimate to be 700,000 to 900,000, depending on how high end of fixtures we pick. Mostly, I'm going to go cheap bottom feeder stuff because let me check. Don't care. What sink someone brushes their teeth or washes their hands in? Does the sink work? Does it hold water? Is it cleanable? Is it sanitary? Beyond that, I'm focused on my life and just doing my. I'm telling you, I could live in a lightly insulated tent with an air conditioning unit if it was just big enough to be comfortable and had at least 2 rooms so I could have one to myself when I need it. And the rest of my time I'd spend out riding my motorcycle, lifting my weights, video chatting with my boy, enjoying a cigar and a bourbon, which I do alone. The occasional conversation, good conversation with a good close friend, I enjoy. But if someone's not a close friend, they're not a friend to me anymore. I've gotten all the. There's no clutter left in my life. It is all just boiled down to what is good. And if it's not good, why do I want it? But what then I pick, as you see, I focus on. That's I'll try not to screw this up. There's a philosophy that I didn't create. I didn't invent. It's out there. It's was it live big, spend big, and save small, or live small, spend small, and save big? It's like being the big duck in a little pond, basically, and I love that. That's the politics of it. That's the lay of the land and the emotions and the frustration levels of it. It's gotten a lot better. I'm hoping I'm kind of at least through the bulk of it. I know there will be other disappointing and upsetting things to come in the future. All the plumbing rough-in locations, I would have normally micromanaged those to the literal inch. I walked through and went, those are probably good. Who knows? And went back and had lunch. So it is what it is. Other people, that'll be their frustration, and they'll sort it out. I'm not going to gnash my teeth over all this because I'm retired. And I want to, it's fair to, and I really need to focus on me right now. I have no other years left in which I can live. This is it. So I'm going to live now. How's that? Anyways, appreciate everyone. Appreciate all the wonderful comments. Hey, gee, did we get rid of the haters the last 2 or 3 months? I've had to kick very few people out. Have we weeded out all the haters now? There'll be more coming, I promise you. But for now, it's been kind of peaceful on the channel. Nobody ragging on. I'll get like a nice regular commenter, and then some new person will come in and rag on them. It's like, yeah, hey, buddy, let me see. Oh, there you are. Click, yeah, banned. I haven't had to do that. I haven't banned anybody in. Gee whiz, it's been 6 weeks, I think, that's about as long as it goes. I'll watch. There'll be like 4 a-holes coming tomorrow. All right. Anyways, but I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Hey, okay, welcome to Winging It with Rob. I don't really have any specific plan as to how I'm going to go through all this, but my first on-the-scene construction update here. Your on-the-scene reporter today. I'll turn the camera around in a second, make it maybe a bit more interesting for you, but we're just about almost a month in. There's been about 8 or 9 guys showing up every day, maybe 10, and they've been reliable. They've stuck really well to the agreement of what I had agreed to pay them, not asking for any more than that. They've been really good about that. No surprises, really. I mean, there's been the odd thing here and there, but not too bad. Last night I had Fawn and her boys come out here and help me wet down the concrete. They poured the floor last night. Those precast sections were just to kind of hold the main floor while it dries, which is what I kind of suspected. It was pretty thin. In the States we use corrugated metal. I don't know why they use the concrete here. I'm sure it's cheaper in some way. Because they're economically, I'm not making fun, they're pressed for cost here. The house is getting bigger as it gets assembled, which is typical for the process. I'm really thankful that I scaled it back at the last minute, because it's still plenty big. So I would have been too big, really. I'd rather have the house a hair tight than a hair big. It would bother me, being the true bohemian that I'm always claiming to be. Anyways, this will just be the intro, okay? Because it is noisy, probably frustrating for you guys to listen to this. So I'll wait till they go tonight, and then I'll come back and I'll walk through it in more detail and all that good stuff. Thanks. Really cool, crisp winter morning. Anyways, today the concrete truck arrives. We'll be using truck mix concrete, which is vastly superior, until the inevitable massive overwatering of said concrete, and that's just Thailand, and I'm just not going to fight it, and that's just going to be that. But anyways, this is the back of the house. Obviously, Fawn had this little pad added, and the kitchen was going to be unenclosed on the back. I know that's a lowbrow move, but I'm just cutting cost and investment and all that. Fawn asked, and I approved, that if I just bought the materials and the workers, either as a side project and or her dad would use some inexpensive steel and basically just chain link fence that in on the back to keep cats out, which I am all in favor of. Cats will come, and obviously that's biologically unsound. And then this is a shade area. I think she's gonna enclose that as well. Don't give a rip, last I checked. And that's the laundry area. And so this is her area of the home. There's 2 areas that are primarily Fawn's. This kitchen and laundry. That'll be a back door, and that's a great shot straight up the main hallway, which is 1.05 meters wide. I requested 1.1 from the architect, or inquired. He said not necessary, 1 meter was fine. I said, hey, cool with me, Now they're all saying it's a little narrow. Let me check. Don't care. It's fine. I fit down there. I am less than a meter wide. Obviously, that's unaroused. And then there's my bathroom there, the lower floor. You see that. And basically, this is the house. There's her aunt's. I get along extremely well with her. She's routinely singing my praises and extremely respectful publicly, which is really a big statement from a Thai when they're significantly older than you. In reality, she's only like 13 years older than me, but by appearances, you'd think we were 3 decades apart. It's just she spent her childhood bringing in water from the local lake, so hers was a bit harder than mine. Anyway, so and there's the wall. Some of the orange sunrise is coming up and reflecting off the wall when doing its intended purpose. It's quite pretty, and a very, very pleasant little spot. So anyways, that's that. Had my second cappuccino and did a little bit of work at home, maintaining some pension stuff and whatnot. And there, first sunrise from my future library. The bracing looks extremely crude, but I checked it. Every single column is exactly plumb. So not bad so far. So the white block stacked all around is referred to as AAC, aerated autoclaved concrete. It's an absolutely fantastic building material. I've been a huge fan for decades. This is my first time working with it. Thailand has 3 major brands of the stuff. They're all, I mean, there's minor technical differences, but they're basically highly aerated, lightweight concrete that no insect can eat, and it's great for Thailand. Generally, it's a nice, neat, clean site. You see the walls, and every once in a while they're pouring a horizontal member of solid concrete with some wire in it to just reinforce things, and very simple construction. Morning, just woke up, went to a Starbucks, which oddly I'm finding I kind of like here. I think it's because it reminds me of home, obviously, but they got some Christmas music playing in the background, and I'm a pretty happy guy. Love you. Hope you're having a great evening. At the convenience store, haven't shaved. Sorry, it's Sunday. I've just been chilling. Concert in town. Listen to that noise, huh? People wonder why I'm building a house in the middle of the rice fields. One of my very best friends in this life, I call him Nong Chai, which is Thai for little brother. And then this is one of those cases where you really mean it. I only say that when I really mean it now because I had a bad experience with that once. I'll have to tell you the story sometime. And I got the receipt here. I just sent him the gifts for his wedding. I was invited to go. I was one of like 5 people invited to go. Really a high compliment. But the wedding was in central Mexico. Dangerous, expensive, and ultimately too painful for me as I recover from my spinal surgery to attend. And I apologized up and down, and as typical for him, he was totally cool about it and more worried about my health than the wedding. And so I kind of really hated to miss it. And it would have been a fun time too, because some of his best friends are some of my best friends. Although there would have been a lot of tequila involved. But what the hell, sometimes you just got to say that's just the way it's going to be, and that's okay. You can't be a panty waste. I'm a penny waste 364 days out of the year. Once in a while, you got to let go. But anyways, stress, kriyat, coming down because I got that done. That feels really good. Fawn helped me as usual a ton. It was great. It was only 1,340 baht to send it. It's 2 bags, a Ducati backpack, which I think he'll like a Ducati mail bag or something. It's kind of cool. I thought he'd use it to carry his papers to and from work. He's kind of a big shot at work. And then a really fancy looking bag, name brand, whatever the hell it was that women like for his new wife. So I don't know anything about handbags, sorry. And that's just nice. It's cool getting shit done when you're this far away. If you make the right effort, it's not bad. And I was able to do the whole thing in Thai. In the post office, there is, let me just tell you, 0 accommodation for English. We are in the jungle, people. And this is as big a city as they have here. And there's a house across the street. There is no big urban environment here. And which is how I like it on my day-to-day life. Who could say, but that's how I like it. And it's just nice getting this shit done and knowing enough Thai. I was comfortable, easy, no problem. I think I looked up one word on my way and I knew I was going to need that I didn't know. And no problem. I do that all the time. There's I know I'll need a word or two that I'm not familiar with, and I'll do it. And then I just learned how to spell peng, which is expensive in Thai. Sala a paw pan ngongu. That's peng, which is expensive. And money like water here at Global House tonight, so when am I going to start making more? Thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you've watched this far, please consider hitting like and subscribe.